Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.
Hi, this is CHAUHAN and you're watching Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world. So today we got the opportunity to be with Ambassador of Colombia to India, His Excellency Dr. Victor Hugo Echeverry Jaramillo. First of all, sir, welcome to India. We hope you like it here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation to Pacific One News. I'm very happy to be here with you.
It's our pleasure. So to begin with, can you please share with us your first impression and reactions when you were appointed as an ambassador to India?
What happens here is that in theory, before you are coming to India, you know that this is a very, very diverse country with so many cultures. But in fact, it is only when you get here that you start realizing about the magnificent culture that you have here in India. So my first impression is, my God, this is a huge country. I started reading the newspapers in one morning and I couldn't finish with all the news, local news, state news. Is a huge, so my impression at the beginning is that, in fact, when they say this is not just a country, this is a subcontinent, they are right. That's my first impression.
How, according to you, how intricate is the historical business and cultural relationship between Colombia and India?
I think that as in all countries you can find subjects that can approach both cultures and subjects that can approach the trade and the investment, and they are intertwined, certainly. But also you can find forces that repel. So what we are doing, and it's the same thing that all ambassadors do, is try to find out what are the specific subjects that could be used to approach even better to countries. In the case of Colombia and India, it is not only trade. We have a very good and growing global exchange of commerce, of goods and services. But also we have an interest in investment as any country. So what happens now is that in the previous years you were thinking about, let's say, culture and trade. Yeah, there are some fields where it's important, but you can find ways to find and improve trade and culture in this 21st century. But especially, what we are going to promote and foster is an association between India and Colombia that can lead to more production of goods and services in Colombia, in a good association, in a win-win situation between Indian companies and Colombian companies. It means taking advantage of the privileged position of Colombia in terms of geography, with access to the Pacific and the Caribbean and Atlantic, and the position in the middle of, in between South America and Central America, and a group of TLCs that Colombia has free trade agreements, with some countries. So there could be an association, very good association in terms of investment, joint ventures between Indian companies, Colombian companies, so we can skip that supposed barrier that is the distance.
What steps are being undertaken to promote trade and investment between the two countries, and how is Colombian embassy promoting the trade between two countries?
We are switching a little bit the approach that we have been having during previous years. During previous years, we have been working in promoting exchange of commerce. But we have seen that the balance is growing depending on energy and basic products, derivatives from oil, carbon coke, basic agricultural products, and we need to move on for more sophistication in the production. So what we are going to do now is to promote good association, business joint ventures between companies of India and Colombia. As I told you before, we have very good examples about this that are already in place. We take an example as Hero motorcycles, two-wheelers, or Royal Enfield's beautiful motorcycles. I have to buy one. They found that Colombia offers very good advantages to go and to bring India more expanded in business in association with Colombian business people. They have been doing that during some years, and I know they are very satisfied with the situation in spite of the slowing during the COVID time that affected us all. So what we are going to promote is this kind of relationships. So in Colombia, we could grow also in reindustrialization and to find the self-sufficiency in terms of drugs, pharmacy, in terms of agricultural products. India comes closer to Colombia, and to find the spots of association that can benefit both sides. And that's the way we are going to do it. It is not only about commerce, trade, exchange, that is the classic way, but we must go one step ahead. India have been a very good friends in all times in Colombia. You have been having an embassy during many decades in Colombia. In Colombia, there are so many people admiring India and the business in India. We all know in Colombia, we are 50 million people. If you ask any Colombian, they will know what is happening in India. They will know that the importance of the industry in India has been growing so fast and will keep growing during the future.
We are making a travel documentary named Travel Colombia. So we have visited Bogota in July for location scouting and permissions for shooting. So the report is enclosed for your kind reference. Can you please advise us for the same?
Surely the list will be very long, but let me tell you, if I were you are going back to Colombia for this second part, and you are focusing in Bogota. That's nice, that's a beautiful capital. There are things that you must explore. First of all, Bogota is very well known and is a leader in the region in terms of bicycle tracks. So we have Bogota, only Bogota has almost 600 kilometers, only Bogota, for biking. But this is very special. This is during everyday life. People go to work in bicycle, that's very good for the city, that's very good for the environment. But also, especially during Sundays, if you spend one Sunday in Bogota, you have to go to the ciclovías. That most of the city is settled for these bicycles. But there are so many cultural events about bicycling, about cycling in Bogota. This is one thing. The other thing is in Bogota that I like very much is exploring the gastronomy in the old town, in the center of Bogota, what was called before Santa Fe. Also, not only the gastronomy, you have a lot of small bars in the city, in very specific spots in the city. That is beautiful, and also markets where they sell all very old ancient things. There are so many markets on Sundays. I know that you have a schedule, but if you can do it in Bogota, it will be wonderful. I'm going for a breakfast in a very traditional place that is La Perseverancia. It's traditional for breakfast on Sundays. And of course, visiting museums, you will be visiting the Golden Museum. It's wonderful. It's a very beautiful experience to live.
One thing you like about India and Indians?
Oh, so many things. Let me tell you, I have been during the last 6 weeks in India. First of all, food. food is so rich in spices. I went to my residence kitchen, and then suddenly I opened one of these cabinets, and I found so many species, like hundreds. And I said, how come that you can use this? So food is so rich. Basically, last 2 days we attended the Independence Day. By the way, congratulations to all citizens in India and the government. And that was a very, very nice ceremony. And after the ceremony, we went for breakfast. Dosas, wonderful dosas as a breakfast. And we all have toga, maybe that's the name. The food is delicious, but the names are very, let me tell you, are very difficult to pronounce. Second, the warmth of the people. And of course, the history of the independence of India and what you have been doing after the independence. It's an amazing story, so ancient, thousands of years of story, of culture. So the rich culture is the other part. And of course, the spiritual part of the Indian citizens is a very important center of the people in India. It's in the core, in the center of their hearts. I love that very much because my way to be is very human being centered way to be. So yes, food, the people, the places. I have still so many places to go during every weekend to try to explore a little bit more of India.
Thank you so much, sir. It means a lot. It was great having a time with you. Thank you for your precious time, and it was our honor to be with you. We hope to meet you soon again. So that's all for now. Stay tuned with Pacific One News for more updates.
Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.